Heard a lot about this show, the ExCandidates.
These institutions which we've been told to respect and trust are actually completely untrustworthy.
Have you confirmed that you are negative before attending tonight if you are unvaccinated?
I still see people with masks on and driving, and they're in the car by themselves.
So you can pay my electricity bill, you thinking little spiff.
We're teaching them about what it means to be a pansexual instead of teaching them how to do your taxes.
It's no for me. I say no to the boys.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the ExCandidates. My name is Stephen Tripp, and I'm here this time. I wasn't here last week, but Adam was. How you going, Adam?
Oh, trying to get over last week. It was a great interview, but I had to, I had to hold the line, and that was a bit full on. But how you going, Stephen?
Oh, I'm good. But one day we're going to do a episode focusing on the NBN and why it's useless.
Yeah, I know why it's useless because they cheaped out on it, right?
It's useless in my house anyway. But tonight we've got the first of our New South Wales candidates, because the New South Wales election is coming up in March. We've got Quintin King from Cessnock on. How are you tonight, Quintin?
G'day, gentlemen. How you going?
Yeah, pretty good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
So Adam loves jumping in straight away and getting the guests to tell them about themselves and everything like that. But I think we're going to change it up just briefly on this episode, because you've got a big event coming up soon up in the Hunter. It's the Wear Something Orange fundraiser. Can you tell us a little bit about that just to kick off the show?
Yeah, so it'll just be a fundraiser dinner with Mark Latham and Rod Roberts, myself and the other candidates, Mark Watson, Neil Turner, Pietro. I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name. We'll all be there. All the money will go to the One Nation campaign in the upcoming state election, but it should be a great night. Politics and fun.
And where are the other candidates running? Mark Watson and Pietro. Which electorates are they going to be in?
Mark will be Port Stephens. Pietro is Walls End, and Neil Turner will be in Maitland.
Yeah, good. So we're definitely represented up in Newcastle.
Yeah, so we're pretty well right on that band, right? So along the coast, you get all the lefties which support Labor, and on the other side, you get more conservative people, which normally goes towards the national side of things. So we're right in the centre, forming a big straight line in there.
Big orange line.
Well, hopefully that you can pull a bit in from either side and pull the votes in. I guess that's what That's what we have to do.
The plan, mate. One Nation is here to declare war now, isn't it?
Yeah, good on you. That's right. And it's becoming like that. It is becoming like, it feels like that even out my way, which has a good support base for One Nation. I feel like people are pretty receptive to One Nation, and but I tell you what, like, it is kind of like you got to draw a line in the sand and say, look, this guy does that, this guy does that, that guy does this, but we're doing this. And if you believe in what we're doing, this is the line, you got to cross it now. And it is war, and it almost is war. So I agree with that terminology wholeheartedly.
Yeah, well, it's pretty simple, right? Because I think every generation before us had a war. Our war seems to be in politics.
Yeah, well.
So there's going to come a point where you need to pick a side. And I'll tell you what, I planted my flag on this hill, and I bloody well die on it.
Yeah.
Bit dramatic there, but that's what got me into politics to start with. Scott Morrison went to COP27 in Glasgow there, declaring net zero, right? So Australia went down that path. He opened the floodgate. And working in that industry, I'm a plant mechanic in a coal mine, which most of the people that support me knows by now. But, I just came to a point, because this is Labor heartland, right? And I just came to a point where I didn't feel anyone was representing me, and I just thought, time to step up, because there's literally not one single member here that can relate to an everyday person. The guy paying his mortgage, trying to do a 12-hour shift, the kid wakes up in the middle of the night, you got a bloody leaking tap, you got to come home to and fix.
Yeah.
They can't relate. They're all there.
No.
Self-preservation mode. That's what it is.
And it's
one thing we really love doing on this podcast is speaking to people that are actually on the front line of things. And you're there. You're right on the coal face, as they say.
Yeah, quite literally.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, you're right there. But you just said that you were motivated to get into politics by no one representing you and the policies of both Liberal and Labor. How do your colleagues feel? There's a lot of similar feelings in the coal industry. How do they feel about everything that's going on with the climate change agenda and all this sort of stuff?
Look, it's not as clear cut as you might think would be. Coal miners would automatically decide, well, this is bad for us, let's go that way. Politics muddies the water. Right? Yeah. So most of them, a lot of them starting to come around, but there's a lot of other ones as well, because you throw in trade unions into the mix, which is just an arm of the Labor Party. All right. So just to paint a bit of a scenario. So you got a young guy, gets in trouble with his boss, calls a union because he pays his union dues every month. Then they come in, bat for him, right? And they send him emails every month saying, this is what Labor's doing for you. So come next election, because they saved him and he's thinking, well, they're on my side and they're telling me One Nation's not, he would probably vote for them.
Yeah,
where
absolutely.
If anyone actually looked just a little bit into what Labor policies actually is, or any party these days other than us, right, their policies is net zero, which at the end of the day is going to kill the hunter economy. That's it. Full stop.
And their big argument is that they can take the coal miners and retrain them. They get them working in solar panel fields or whatever it is. How do you react to that?
That's an absolute lie, right? So you got to understand, like, a lot of people that's in this job, right, gets paid because you do long hours, right? So we get paid anywhere between $120,000 and $160,000 a year, right? So who in their right mind is going to pay you that sort of money to clean solar panels or mow the lawn on a wind farm? You know, it's not going to happen.
Well,
if you take, for example, if you take, for example, right, one mine, the labour force at one operation, right, is about 800 people. So a wind farm is not going to employ that many people.
No,
you would only have a few technicians to run up and down the poles to make sure that the turbines are working, if, like greased up and functioning properly, or they would come in almost obviously, they'd be linked up to a computer anyway. So if they weren't performing optimally, like just like a car, a sensor would send a signal back. So they wouldn't even need to have anybody there kind of like full time. They would just have crews that walk around maintaining stuff as needed.
Yeah, everything, most maintenance schedules is based off hours. So those big turbines will have gearboxes filled with about 1,000 litres of synthetic oil in them, and they go off hours. They run this many hours and the oil needs to be changed, But yeah, there's no way in hell that they're going to employ as many people as the mining industry does right now.
No, well, in fairness, they might need a lot of firefighters to put the wind turbines.
yeah, firefighters on EWPs by the looks of that.
Yeah. So we're getting to the end now. Thank you for coming on, Quintin. What's the best way for people to follow you if they want to see what how your campaign's going and what you stand for?
Thank you very much for having me. It was great. It'll be on Facebook or Instagram. Just Quintin King for Cessnock on Facebook and Quintin King One Nation on Instagram. It's pretty easy to find. You'll see the little orange logo and my ugly picture.
We see you.
Come on, mate. Give yourself a bit more credit than that. Come on, man. It's all good. We're like the Beard Brothers. There's not many of us with beards on the campaign trail this time around, I don't think.
A kid that's father doesn't have a beard has got two mothers, mate.
Oh, it'll take only one nation has the balls to say something like that. Good on you, mate.
Righto. Have a good night, lads.
Thanks,
All right. Thanks, Quinn. Thanks for coming on.
See you, brother.